So today we're going to cover the underhook double Riva, and we're going to focus on some submissions from both the standing and knee down position. Let's get straight into it. So first we're going to take a look at the standing position. So standing, we have the lead leg here. I choose to have my double Riva with the left leg. I'm going to swim into the inside space with my left hand. So I'm going to go under my leg and in front of his shin to grab my own shin from here. Right hand is going to go for the cross collar grip. And with my right foot, I'm looking to hook with my instep behind his knee and drag my hips slightly underneath his body so I can weight shift and off balance him in this direction. That will encourage him to go into his two hand posts. Okay, this is very vital that I transferred away from the near side leg to the far side leg. Okay, we're trying to look at how we can expose his upper body and get the submissions that we want to work on today. So we'll be looking at the triangle and armbar specifically. Okay, so I'm going to use my cross collar grip. I'm going to try and pull my elbow down to the floor, close to my rib cage, as I try and put my hips underneath of him, punching out, and now turning my hooking foot into a stepping foot. So you can see I'm managing the distance from here. He can't come back into me here. I swim my left foot in, and we get to our Jenga pit stop position. So I'm lining my leg in the same line as his thigh in order to stack, exactly like in the Jenga game, guys. So Jenga is that brick game that we're trying to build a tower. So if I do not align it properly, the tower is going to collapse. So I must ensure that my knee is not going to the outside space. Otherwise, this is like a modified X position. And he can still dip his knee in this position, you see? If that happens, there's another video coming up soon. We can talk about that position as well. But for now, I'm trying to maintain a certain push and pull. We'll push from my left foot there, as you can see me wiggling the toes, and a pull from the upper body on the cross collar grip. The first submission we're going to cover is a triangle. So we can see how left and right arm are posted on the mat. Okay, my intention with my right foot is to aim for his far side bicep. From here, I'm going to aim for it, shoot, so his body drops here. I'm axing over his head. So as you can see, it's already sunk deep. He's kind of sat on his butt in this position. It's very easy for us to now sink in the triangle, just grabbing the shin here, adjusting the angle with my foot on his hip. I'm also actively trying to close and clamp with my left knee to his ear if possible, but first pushing off his hip, not flaring it out here, otherwise he can move in this open space and try and escape. So I'm keeping it nice and tight, pinching with both of my legs, trying to align my knee to his ear. So as you can see, this allows me to get a nice and tight angle, using an axe foot with my top foot as well, not ballerina feet, axing here and closing over my shin here. We just look at that one more time without any talking. So you can pull on the head and crunch in, or also underhooking behind the armpit here and gable gripping here to finish the triangle. Now we're going to take a look at a really flash armbar from this position, okay? Again, it's very dependent on my partner having two hand posts, or at least the near side arm having a hand post on the mat, okay? Let's take this. Is completely the same as the triangle setup, so we can just understand the entry from there. We're going to go straight to it. We see that hand post, and maybe the far side arm is very far away and I can't shoot for the triangle. It seems a little bit risky. So I understand and I recognize, okay, I identified as an opportunity to attack this arm since it's much closer to me. This is very timing-based, speed-based technique here. So I have to identify, okay, I'm gonna attack the arm. As soon as I release this leg, I need to grab that elbow, okay? So I'm gonna perform once. So now I can anticipate Nate rolling over. I secure armbar with both hands by the wrist line, pinching my knees together, and again, every armbar always identify I have to have his elbow above my hip line, okay? Or at least above crotch level here. Let's look a little bit closer to the armbar setup. We just want to go straight to the position where Nate has both hands on the mat. So if I'm doing this in slow motion, what I identify that I need to do as soon as his leg drops, I'm anticipating that my left foot has to be on his mid-back. So from here, I'm keeping my cross collar grip nice and tight because I want to pull myself to base on my right shoulder. So once I'm here, I'm trying to turn my left shin towards his neck, that both knees are facing the mat. I'm gonna post on top of my head, and as soon as I start to initiate the turning motion in order to get into the final armbar position, I'm going to isolate his arm. So I can either just hug around it or grab his wrist immediately from this position. So I'm here, both knees on the mat. I'm gonna try and turn my left knee towards this side. I don't just wanna drop my butt here, otherwise I may lose the armbar and the elbow line. And once I'm here, I'm turning him. Again, I'm always trying to channel my focus again to his elbow, pinching nice and tight with my legs, grabbing with both hands, and pulling down to finish the armbar position. And now we're gonna do the Nogi version, guys. Okay, so the beauty also of the Underhook de la Riva position is that the grips and the positions really are very compatible with the Nogi game. Of course, we don't have like the collar, the cross-collar grip, we can't grab any fabric manipulations, but it's very easy to adapt gi and Nogi with the Underhook de la Riva system. Very easy to link it with the X guard position, single leg X, de la Riva. But now we're going to get straight into it, so let's go. So again, looking at the standing position, I can't really control in the same way with the cross collar, but I do have the opportunity to have wrist control. So if we just go back to this position, leg is still doing exactly the same thing. Nothing else really changes. I'm still grabbing on my shin. I'm still looking for the hooking foot. From here, if I do have the opportunity, I will try and swim and grab the wrist control. But most of the time, if I have my hips sufficiently underneath the knee, it's quite easy to get him to get to this off balance position. So again, getting to the Jenga from here. What I recommend usually is more to go to the near side arm. So guys, if you're drilling it, of course, ask your partner to come close to you. If they're too far away from you, it is going to be extremely difficult to attack the upper body. But in the same way here, it's very easy to still go for the arm bar. And here I'm still looking for the same drop. And we have our Nogi armbar. Now we're going to take a look at a technique that we can do when our partner has their knee on the mat. So since his knee is on the mat, sometimes that leaves the arms very available to start posting on me, posting on my body. It's a little bit difficult to do the same submissions because he's more aware, he has time to kind of close the openings, spaces. So let's take a look at what we can do positionally to still advance with our partner and get to a good position that we could perhaps attack from the top position, okay? So I'm gonna do, again, same off balancing weight shift, but he posts on his knee this time. So from here, what I'm trying to do, with my top leg, I'm going to go to this hip hooking position. So my shin and my left instep hooks on the back of his lower back. I'm internally rotating my foot slightly to just touch the lower back. From here, my intention with my right hand is to grab some fabric from the inside of his knee. I'm gonna try and get myself into a closed guard position. So I'm kind of trying to close the space here. If I can, I'll try and cross my feet. But now I start to square up and bump him onto his hip like this. As soon as I do this now, I'm gonna find the timing, that window. I'm gonna post my right foot to the mat here. Because my right foot is on the mat, what I'm looking to do from here is a hip bump position. So I cannot successfully do this when I'm weight shifted on my right butt cheek. I must enable myself to weight shift to my left. Because now I can look for this position, come on top, pull it down. Look at that one more time without talking. So something you can do from knees down in the Underhook Nogi edition. We can't grab on the knee like we did in the gi version, but what we can do, so I'm about to show you, if I'm like off balancing them here, he goes to his knee. I'm still looking for, initially in the Nogi, I do prefer to get the hip hook here because I feel like I have some sort of connection to his upper body that also can help me distance manage a little bit better. But see, right now my leg is in full extension, more or less. If I bend my leg, this allows me some capability to cup his far side leg, okay? But what we're gonna look at first actually is coming to the inside space. We're gonna get to this X guard position. From here, I make sure that I'm holding on his kneecap and closing my elbow. What I don't want to happen here is for his foot to kind of get on the ground and he can weight shift onto me. It's going to be easier for him to try and pass my guard. Okay, so I'm trying to keep my awareness to keep the weight shifted on this side. I'm going to go into what I like to call the trophy grip. So kind of if you imagine like the World Cup, it's very circular here. I use both hands in this position by his calf. From here I'm going to shelve it to the other side. And the same thing here, I'm just cupping underneath his kneecap and closing my elbow. From here I'm going to go and sit up. So I extend a little bit and sit up. At the same time, I'm still keeping his foot off the mat. I'm going to drop it in order to hug his hips in this position. So I drop to hug around his hips. So if you come around to this side, you can see with my hands, I'm trying to link them together in an S clamp position. A lot of people may like to opt for a gable. I find it's very strong to keep this S clamp very, very secure. I want to close my elbows. I don't want to give him any opportunity to try and weave in between my arms. From here, now I'm just going to remove my left foot. I'm going to try and pull him so that his hips is a little bit more loaded on me because there's a little bit of space in front of my legs here. What I'm trying to do to make this most efficient is for his hips to sit on mine. So I'm trying to pull and come up to the leg drag position from here. Then I can unravel, get to the side control, or I can proceed in any way that I like to go. Hope you enjoy. Test it out, like, comment, and subscribe.